We always ask, how much silver is enough? But almost nobody stops to think and ask about the question of what happens if you stack too much? Can you even stack too much silver? Well, in this video, I'm going to go over what overstacking might look like and how to find the harmony in your own stacking strategy. So let's break everything all down in today's video. Want to win 100 ounces of American Silver Eagles completely free? Well, JM Bullion is giving away 5 full tubes of 100 coins packed in a custom waterproof Pelican case. There is no purchase necessary, and the giveaway ends September 11th of this year. And if you want to get in on this opportunity, click the link in the description below to enter for your chance to win. And just to be clear, JM Bullion is not sponsoring this channel in any sort of way. This is me just wanting to pass this opportunity along to help you guys out. So don't miss out on this. Click the link in the description and enter for your chance to win 100 ounces of free silver. Hi everybody, and welcome back to yet another video. So let's start with the reasons why people keep stacking. And if you're a stacker, you know what I mean about the addictive nature behind it all. If you're just starting out, you're probably feeling this right now. And for myself, after about 4 years of stacking, I still get that endorphin kick anytime that I walk out of my LCS with new ounces to add to the stack. Plus, I'm sure I can speak for the rest who have been doing this for even longer than that. I'm willing to even bet that the feeling hasn't changed from day one. And for those who may come across this video who have yet to begin their stacking journey, I encourage you to get started on it, and there's plenty of videos out there that cover numerous points and topics about this stuff here, but you'll have to trust me when I say that this becomes a very, very, very addictive hobby. And most people out there probably aren't interested in this stuff, and that's totally fine, but for those of us who believe in the usage of it, there's just something special about adding more of these to the total or to your stack. And it really does become a bit of an influence in someone's lifestyle, and I know it has for me. Now, this will depend on how much you've accumulated over the period of time, but for me, I personally have around 155 ounces of silver, and for some, that's a lot, and for others, it's nothing. But the point isn't who has the most, because it's not a race or a competition. But at some point, I think we all come to a crossroads of when we begin to see or even feel the quantities of silver that's in our stack. Now, not to call that an excessive amount, but I know at some point, even despite my good memory and constant need to do an inventory count on them at all times, I will occasionally find a round or two in a spot somewhere in the house where it doesn't usually end up. Then I go something like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But basically, at some point, you're probably going to have tubes, flips, coins, something lying around in places because of reasons that you can or can't explain. Now, unless you lock them up and never want to see them again, then that's a different story. But I'm not shy in admitting that I mess around with them constantly. So it's only expected that it ends up in a place that it usually doesn't belong in. But that's besides the point. And the point is, eventually, storage, security, and the types of silver that you stack can have an impact on when overstacking becomes a thing. Now, I'm on the side of the fence where you can't have enough of gold or silver, but let's be realistic for a moment, and storing gold is way easier than storing silver, because right now at the time of this video, it takes about 89 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. So as stackers, we probably have somewhere of 100 to even upwards of 1,000 or more ounces to work with, and storing, let's say, 1,000 ounces of silver is going to become a problem at some point. Now, of course, depending on the type and size of silver that you get, whether that's in a bar, a round, or coin, or whatever, it will become an issue at some point. And again, this is very situational because you can have great storage options like a bigger safe, or you have numerous rooms within the house that you can utilize, or if you really wanted to keep them off-site in some sort of custodial holding, then that's an option as well, and then at that point it becomes not your problem. But again, each person has a unique setting or options that they have to work with. So for some, 100 ounces might be a lot, or in some cases 1,000 ounces could be someone else's overstacking point. So it's really all just situational. And I'll even make a point that I'm willing to bet in the comments you're going to see people throw out numbers and strategies like 100 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of gold, or 500 ounces is my threshold limit, or whatever. And you'll see that each person has a limit and a strategy to this. And perhaps it's an issue of storage, preference, diversification, ratio trading strategies, etc. And there is a form of a limitation behind those ideas, because unless you never want to own gold and you only want silver, which I don't think there's that many people out there that do, then you create a limit naturally, because you already know that having too much silver is already going to be possible. So when can you have too much? Well, if it's starting to become stressful in the sense of security or clutter, then that could be an indication for you that you may have too much. If you think that you can't handle an emergency without selling the stash, then maybe that's a diversification problem and you have to set an emergency fund in place. Or if you're focused on the portfolio amount like I am, then having a certain percentage of my net worth in, then having too much of that can create a diversification issue. All of which has a solution if you plan for it. So just think for a moment that if you have an amount that's specific, think of what that is. If you still have storage to work with, then you're probably fine. But if your portfolio is 25% in metals when it's supposed to be 10, then you may need to stop purchasing or offload. And think of what the number is and verify it with your intent, and in my opinion, you'll get your answer that way. So how you find your balance is really depending on whatever your comfort level is. I mean, there is no right or wrong answer, let's be honest. It's what you want it to be. If it feels like a lot, then it probably is. You shouldn't have to overthink this really, and you can always adjust your strategy or your comfort level with either a solution or a change in mindset. This whole thing is supposed to be fun, not overwhelming. So I don't think you can have too much of it, because there's always an option or a solution. You can store it, you can trade it for gold, you can sell it, whatever you want to do with it. And I can't tell you what is correct, nor can anyone else, because it's all about preference. So again, don't overthink it. Just enjoy it and keep adding more if you can. The goal isn't to see who can hoard the most. It's to build a stack that works for you. But with that being said, guys, let me know what your limits or strategies are when it comes to this type of stuff in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.